Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a king named King Roderick, known across the land for his immense wealth and insatiable greed. His palace glittered with gold, and his vaults were filled with precious jewels. But no matter how much he had, it was never enough. He always wanted more land, more riches, and more power. King Roderick's greed started when he inherited the throne from his father, who had been a just and kind ruler. But rather than continuing his father's legacy of fairness, the new king focused solely on acquiring wealth. He raised taxes on the common people and used the funds to expand his palace and hire grand entertainers. Meanwhile, his subjects lived in poverty, working harder than ever to pay their king's ever-growing demands. One day, a wandering sage came to the kingdom. He heard of the king's great wealth and decided to visit the palace. The sage approached King Roderick and offered him a strange but enticing deal. "I can grant you a treasure more valuable than all the gold in your vaults," the sage said. "But there is one condition. You must promise me that you will not hoard it or use it selfishly." The king, thinking only of his greed, immediately agreed. "I promise, give me the treasure," he declared. The sage handed him a simple, unadorned wooden box. "Open it when you are alone, and you will understand the true value of this treasure." Excited beyond measure, King Roderick rushed to his private chamber. He opened the box eagerly, only to find nothing. No gold, no jewels, just an empty box. Furious, the king stormed to the sage's quarters, demanding an explanation. The sage, calm and wise, said, "The treasure you seek cannot be held in your hands or locked in a vault. The true treasure is understanding that wealth is not the measure of a king's greatness, but his ability to share, care for his people, and live with contentment." But the king, consumed by his greed, could not understand. He chased after the sage, hoping to find another way to grow richer. However, no matter what he did, he found that the more he focused on gaining, the less satisfied he became. As years passed, King Roderick's obsession with wealth continued to destroy his kingdom. The people grew discontented, and the land, once prosperous, became barren. The more the king demanded, the less the kingdom had to give. The crops failed, the roads decayed, and soon the people began to leave, seeking better lives elsewhere. Finally, King Roderick was left alone in his grand palace, surrounded by his treasures, but with no one to rule over. He had lost the love and respect of his people, and his kingdom was in ruins. One night, in the stillness of his empty hall, he opened the wooden box again. This time, he understood the sage's words. He realized that his greed had not only destroyed his life, but also the lives of those he was meant to protect. The treasure the sage had given him was the lesson he had failed to learn. True wealth lies in kindness, generosity, and wisdom, not in the accumulation of riches. But by then, it was too late. King Roderick died alone, a man who had once had everything but had lost the one thing that truly mattered, the love of his people.